The National Human Rights Commission has called on stakeholders to take appropriate measures of tackling gender-based violence against women and children nationwide. The Kano coordinator of the agency, Shehu Abdullahi, made the appeal today at a one-day town hall meeting organized by Solus-Based Communications in partnership with Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism, supported by MacArthur Foundation, held in the state. The coordinator added that the Kano office of the agency has received more than 1,300 cases of gender-based violence against women and girls.
This year, from January to October, we received a total number of 1,360 complaints. And out of this number, almost 1,000 getting to 300 are on issues of gender-based violence. If you look at it critically, you can see that our family system, it is in bad shape.
On his part, the admin manager Sexual Assault Referral Center, SARC Kano, Ababello Ahmed, emphasizes the need for exposing perpetrators of rape cases and reporting to the security agencies for proper prosecution as a major component of reducing the high rate of the cases. Speaking on the rationale behind the event, Solus-based publisher Abdulatif Abubakar Jos said it is for to sensitize the public on the implication of hiding rape cases and increasing culture of silence.
There are a lot of consequences and implications regards to the issue of not coming out to report. It doesn't just limit it to how it affects the well-being of the person being abused.
Correspondent Awal Hassan Fagir reports that the town hall meeting included the students, both secondary schools and tertiary institutions, and Kano State Police Command, among others. The Community Initiative to Promote Peace, CIPP, has stated that the creation of local non-governmental organization is a way to achieve peace in the country. Community Initiative to Promote Peace Chairman Hajia Ramatu Adamu stated this today during the meeting on ways to create peace. She added that no nation will continue without peace. On his part, the head of the Community Welfare Department, Nasarawa Local Government, Alhaji Hassan Abdullahi Garu, explained the measures that should be taken to ensure a peaceful 2023 general elections. Correspondent Hafsat Abdullahi Danladi reported that the meeting was attended by some members of the organization from different states. Kano State Governor Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje said that we need unity and mutual understanding between the tribes and religions of the country in order to maintain peace and sustainable development. Ganduje disclosed this at a conference organized by Kano State Government to discuss ways of creating greater mutual understanding between Muslims, Christians, and non-religious people, which took place today at the Government House, Kano.
We organize at state level the annual Interreligious and Community Conference, and the first we give a national outlook by inviting religious leaders from other parts of the country with the sole aim of strengthening interreligious dialogue and building of mutual trust between the two dominant religions in our diverse nation. I'm delighted that this cream of religious leaders who have served our country with distinction assembled here for the conference.
In his remarks, Chairman of the Interfaith Dialogue Committee on Religions, Malam Muhammad bin Osman, said that doing justice and avoiding religious abuse will bring peace among Nigerians. Correspondent Abba Isa Muhammad reported that during the meeting, articles were presented about the importance of peace. Among those that presented were including Professor Salihu Shehu and Cardinal John Olufemi Oliyinkam. On sports, former Nigerian Professional Football League champions Kano Pillars FC have signed a new technical advisor, Evans Ogenyi, ahead of the 2022-2023 Nigerian National League season. Muhammad Sani Uba has details of this and other sports updates.
The former Warriors manager Evans Ogenyi was unveiled today at the Kano State Sport Commission by the acting chairman of the Kano Pillars FC, Ibrahim Galadima. According to Galadima, 31 applications were received, with 14 being shortlisted. Out of the 14 shortlisted, 5 were from foreign countries, which included 1 from Mexico, 2 from Ghana, 1 from Cote d'Ivoire and Togo respectively. The former Premier League club found themselves in relegation waters last season, a situation that prompted the management to sack the coaching crew of the Sema Sigida and call for the submission of application from interested person to take up the job. Other technical crew that were appointed as Ogenye assistant are Ibrahim A. Musa, Ahmad Garba Yaro, Gamba Muhammad, and Abbas Awala as goalkeeper trainer. In another update, President Muhammad Buhari has declared the 21st National Sport Festival open in Delta State at the Stephen Keshi Stadium, Asaba. The president, who was represented by the Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Sunday Dari, said that the festival is to promote national integration. The minister also said that his primary objective at the 2022 National Sport Festival is to hunt for new national talent that will represent Nigeria at the next Olympics, France 2024. For governors present at the opening ceremony are the host state governor, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State, Deodiri of Bayelsa State, Godwin Obaseki of Edo State, and the Amin Waziri Tambol of Sokoto State. Meanwhile, former president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Amadi Melvin Pinnick, has apologized to Nigerians over Super Eagles' failure to qualify for the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Recall that the Super Eagles failed to qualify for Qatar 2022 for the first time since 2006 after playing a 1-1 draw with arch rivals Ghana in Abuja on March 29. Pinnick, who is currently in Qatar, insisted that this year's World Cup could have been Nigeria's tournament, adding that he took responsibility for Nigeria's failure not to be at the Global Football Festival. Muhammad Sani Uba, Freedom Radio.
Global News is coming to you from Freedom Radio 99.5 FM. You can send your comments, opinions, and watch us live on Freedom Radio Nigeria on Facebook.com. You can get the link to the page on our website, freedomradionig.com, or call us through this number, 0824444163. Welcome back. You're still listening to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. Kano State House of Assembly has pledged speedy passage of Child Protection Bill into law. The bill, which aimed at protecting those rights of children from abuse and would improve on the welfare of children in the state. This was disclosed by the Deputy Speaker and Chairman House Standing Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development, Kabiru Hassan Dashi, while declaring open a public hearing on Child Protection Bill 2022 held at the chamber of the House today. He further assured the participants and all other stakeholders in the public hearing that they will take into cognizance their constructive inputs and will incorporate them into the draft bill. A series of papers were presented during the public hearing. As the authorities vested with the responsibilities of reviving the educational sector are saying they're investigating more in the field, on the other hand, the sector is faced with a setback, especially considering the disparity between public schools in Nigeria and private schools. Mukhtar Abdullahi Birnin-Kudu takes a look at the importance of the issue and files in this report.
Knowledge at the foundation or bedrock of all developments in every society is now faced with the serious setback in Nigeria, especially the northern part of the country. This must be related to the deterioration of education in public schools, while private schools continues to be in the forefront. In most public schools, it can be said that the crowd of students alone may cause their inability to understand the lessons in a situation whereby more than 150 up to about 300 pupils or students might be seen in a single classroom, as one public primary school head teacher laments.
Under normal circumstances, the number of students has to be 40, maximum 50 per classroom. In primary 4, I have 247 pupils that are to be divided into 5 classes. But in private schools, since you have paid for the school fees, everything must be intact.
Malam Balarabe Umar, a former school teacher and private school owner, has confirmed this problem, which according to him, the blame is also on the stakeholders as well as teachers, parents, and authorities concerned.
One of the factors is the teachers. Most of the teachers tend to use teaching and learning materials and enrollment. Governments tend to recruit teachers.
Some parents whose children are studying in both public and private schools explain reasons behind the enrollment of their children in either public or private schools.
The reason why I have taken my children to public school is just that I don't have the means to pay for the private school. And you know the cost may not be afforded by the common man. If you cannot afford, instead of your children to be redundant, you better take them to public school.
I have many children. Some are schooling in public school, while some are in private. Nowadays, there are some public school teachers that are taking their kids to private schools, since they know the kind of services they are delivering.
Experts and parents are of the opinion that if some key stakeholders and public servants are to be compelled to send their children to public schools, there is a probability of a significant change and the development of the sector and may reduce the gap between them. Alhaji Lawan Yunus Andomo, the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Kano State, stated that each party must do their best to discharge the responsibilities on their shoulders in tackling the menace.
To me, the problem is the willingness of people, leaders in all levels, teachers at all levels, stakeholders at all levels to do the needful. But of course, we have to own up to our responsibilities at every level, as individuals, as groups, as societies, as governments, as communities, as leaders, as pupils and teachers, as parents. We all have to own up to our own individual responsibilities.
Mukhtar Abdullahi Brununkudu, Freedom Radio.
And on the foreign scene, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is facing a possible impeachment threat over the farm gate scandal. The president has been accused of covering up a $4 million theft from his farms in 2020, including kidnapping and bribing the burglars into silence. Tasio Bellu reports.
A 3-volume report from an independent panel has found that Mr. Ramaphosa abused his position and may have broken an anti-corruption law. He has denied wrongdoing and said the money was from selling buffalo. The panel's findings have been handed to Parliament, which is said to examine them and decide whether or not to launch impeachment proceedings next week. Mr. Ramaphosa is less than a month away from a conference which will decide if he can run for a second term with his party, the African National Congress, ANC, in 2024. The incident could be particularly damaging as Mr. Ramaphosa ran for office on an anti-corruption ticket. The top body of ANC is met today and expected to discuss the report. The president's meeting with provincial lawmakers planned for today has been postponed to give Mr. Ramaphosa time to study the panel's finding, perhaps the first indication that the president is facing pressure to not continue with business as usual. Meanwhile, China has signed a shift in its COVID stance as it moves to ease some virus restrictions despite high delay case numbers. Dozens of districts in Shanghai and Guangzhou cities that have been rising cases were released from lockdown measures today. The country's vice premier also announced that the country was facing a new situation. It comes as China is seeing mass protest against its zero COVID policy. Tasiu Bello, Freedom Radio.
And with that, we've come to the end of today's Global News. On behalf of the entire production team and I, Zara Zenna, thank you for listening.